Jam it. Welcome, one and all, to the Wise Agent Society Sharpen the Saw episode. Who knows what? I don't even have it on here. We are here with the extraordinary guest, Mr. Roy Wier, with Vigilant Home Inspections in Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Central Iowa, Eastern Iowa, all over Iowa, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Central Iowa and Eastern Iowa, yeah.
All right, cool.
For Vigilant and Adios Radon, we do statewide.
Right on. Well, thanks for coming to the show, dude.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. This is going to be a fun show. I'll tell the audience kind of how it works. We're going to talk a little bit about how Roy and I met. Then we're going to talk about Roy's journey to where he started and where he is now. And then we're going to get into his mission for this year. And we're going to talk all about radon and radon mitigation and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get to that in just a segundo. And Mr. Roy and I met, you know what? I think the first time I met you might have been just at the Habitat for Humanity committee meeting, or maybe it was like a bags tournament. I don't know. Do you remember where exactly?
I don't remember. I don't know. It could have been at the Cedar Rapids Board of Realtors even.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the Habitat meeting, maybe there, whatever. So we met through real estate doings, and we've gotten along well. And Roy's just doing some really cool stuff, incredible stuff with his radon and inspection business. So, and I really like your posts that you post. You post funny stuff, and you do funny things, and you have good content.
Thanks.
And then, yeah, and above all else is you help a lot of people. That's what I really like about you and what you do. So maybe just take us through a little journey of how you got into the inspection business. Like, where did that start? Why'd you do it? And then also the radon and how that kind of got you to where you are today.
Yeah, sure. So I started Vigilant Home Inspections about 10 years ago. And after being in construction for 15 years in management and in on the labor side, I was a framer and a roofer and a tile guy and all kinds of stuff. I know you've got a long construction background too before your real estate career.
Yeah.
And so that's how I got interested in home inspections. The first time I bought a house, I went to the home inspection and the guy walked me through and we got done and he said, thanks, that'll be $500 or whatever. And I was like, I could do that. That'd be all right. Like, I could do that. And so anyway, started Vigilant and grew that. And we have a great team. We got really great inspectors. And
how many inspectors do you have these days?
Well, I kind of retired from doing the home inspections myself, so I've got 3 guys that have been with me for a while, several years, and are very experienced and everything. And then we've also got a new inspector who's almost done with training, and he's awesome too. He does a really good job. So, cool. So there's 4, but a couple of them also kind of work on the Adios Radon side some. So,
Yeah. So in what year did you start then the business?
I was just looking at some paperwork the other day. I filed the articles for the LLC on June, like right before my birthday in 2014 in June. And then I went full time with Vigilant in 2016. So.
And did you always have a beard like that?
I've had a beard for a long time. Yeah.
I had for quite a while. My old headshots just have a goatee.
Yeah.
My beard
was that like 2009, 2008?
Oh shoot! My first headshots, you should see them. They're funny. I look like a little boy. But no, shoot, that was like 2010.
Okay.
11.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, I have a blue suit and a little
Yeah.
beard, short
Yeah.
hair. It's funny. But I was going to say, what was I going to say? Oh, I have my winter beard going right now. So I'm about to go into my summer beard.
Nice.
This thing's pretty burly, which I like it, but I'm gonna go more business.
Yeah.
Business.
It looks good. I like wearing my beard longer, but my wife likes it shorter, and I mean, you know.
Yeah, if I get it too short, then my wife is like, "Oh, it's too short now," and I'm like, "Where's the happy medium?" You know?
Right.
She says my beard is stinky, but I don't believe her.
What have you been eating?
Nothing. I don't know. I just don't condition it well enough or something.
Oh.
So yeah. So okay. So 4 inspectors, aside from you, but you mostly do radon stuff probably nowadays, right?
Right.
When did you start radon, and how and why did you do that?
Yeah, so we had been doing radon testing for 7 or 8 years, and through Vigilant, and then a friend of mine that had been in the mitigation business for 17 years decided to retire early, and he was the main reason I hadn't already started doing it, because I'd been thinking about it. You know, I could do that. That'd be a good industry to get into, but I didn't want to step on his toes, kind of thing, you know.
Sure.
And so when he told me that he was getting out, I thought, well, that's going to leave a void, because he was one of the bigger contractors for mitigation in eastern Iowa. And so yeah, that was my UPS guy just pulled up. That was one of my. Yeah. No, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. He was trying to sell his business, but I mean, a lot of the value when you're selling a business is the contacts and all of that, right? Well, I mean, with mitigation, all your past clients have already had mitigation done, right? Like, what am I going to do for them? And the realtors and those relationships, well, I already have those relationships, so there wasn't a whole. You know, I mean, it's not that I didn't want to help him out or anything, but and he's been so helpful, and he sold me a bunch of tools, and he ended up selling me. He did end up selling me the website, the Facebook page, the phone number, all that stuff. So I didn't technically buy the business. I just bought some of the
assets.
The leftover business assets that were still hanging out there, because he had 7,000 or 8,000 past clients that will need service, will need a new fan eventually, and so.
Was it called Adios Radon then, or did you make it?
Yeah, Adios Radon. Yep.
So you didn't even come up with the name?
No, I did. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, I figured you did because you speak Spanish. Because that.
Yeah. Seguro que sí.
Roy and I both speak Spanish, so we have a lot in common. We had a
couple of white guys in Iowa speaking Spanish to each other.
Simón Cachatón.
No mames.
No mames, güey. That's funny. So, okay, cool. So you bought some stuff. And what year was that you started doing the mitigation?
So I started in 23 in, I think, August of 23. And, I mean, it was really quick. Like I found out, I want to say it was like June or something that I found out that he was quitting, and like I immediately
hopped on it.
Got on it. I think I was licensed within a month or two of like just deciding to do it, and hit the ground running. So
yeah, very cool.
It's been good.
Yeah, and then so for the mitigation stuff, did you say? I know you already said that some of the inspectors that you already have do some of the mitigation. Do you have one guy that's kind of dedicated to the mitigation, or are they just kind of?
Well, we have. So I do. I work on the mitigation business full time. Sometimes I'm installing. A lot of the time I'm selling right now. I have 2 guys that are full time with Adios, and then that don't do home inspections. And then 2 of my home inspectors are also licensed mitigators. So, so they jump back and forth. There's one inspector, Daniel. He does a lot more of the mitigations than the other home inspector at this point. But we're just gearing up to be flexible,
So 4 inspectors plus 2 radon guys plus you.
So there's 12 total on my team.
Oh, jeez.
So I've got an office manager for each business.
Okay.
I've got kind of a VP, or I think his self-proclaimed title is Chief Technology and Operations Officer or something.
Okay.
He's the guy that does all the shit that I suck at.
Yeah, like technical stuff and like.
Yeah, setting us up with new software and dealing with accounting and bookkeeping, and I'm the ADD kid that barely got through high school,
Yeah.
And
hello.
Yeah, so like I'm good at having ideas and taking risks that I shouldn't, and going into debt and being scared and doing it anyway and all that stuff, and but not so much at dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and he's that guy. So
dude, that is so funny how that is, you just described me too. Like I barely graduated. I had to take like DECA in high school just so that I'd have enough credits to pass. Like I needed a couple extra credits, so I went in early in the morning to do it to get.
I can't remember if my GPA was 2.4 or 2.6, but it was something like that. It wasn't good.
If you want to talk about, okay, so I had a 1.52 going into my junior year, I think. I wanted to impress a girl that was very smart, and I was smart. I just didn't care about school, and so I got a 4.0. Moving forward there, and like I was late for all my classes. I barely showed up for school, and I like would have to come in and get a tardy pass, or whatever every day. And the lady looked at me and she goes, "Shay," she's like, "Did I see your name on the honor roll?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "What the heck?" She's like, "Shay." And I was like, "Can I have my pass? I gotta go. I'm late for class." It was just so funny, right? I'm like, yeah, I mean, whatever.
And you're just trying to get a girlfriend.
Yeah, I was just trying to impress a girl. But yeah, no, same thing. I'm the same way. So like when I'm teaching people and telling people what I do is that, I'm same thing. I'm the visionary. I'm the negotiator. I'm the relationship maker. I'm the risk taker. I'm the all of that thing, but I need somebody coming up and cleaning up behind me the whole time.
Yep.
Because like
I need multiple somebody's clean up.
Same. So I rely heavily on my admin team to button up all my files, get all the stuff, the paperwork. I can't do repetitive stuff. I give them all the language. I do all the negotiating. I do all the leverage. I just don't do paperwork or repetitive stuff. Yeah. So that's funny. That's funny that we have so much in common in that stuff.
Yeah. So yeah.
12 people. That's a good.
I have 2 realtors that do radon testing for me part time, just in the mornings and stuff, and then the 2 admin. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. 2 realtors too. Wow.
Yeah. So a couple realtors doing radon testing part time.
You hiring?
Yeah. Yeah. I need an electrician, and I need
I did see that.
a couple of gophers, and I don't know. But yeah, no, we got an awesome team, man. All the guys are great, and the gals, everybody. It's just a really cool team. We're having a really good time right now. We're talking about not, making a mess and not pay attention to the details and stuff. I've been in business for 10 years. I've probably had 4 company meetings. And
that's impressive.
Because we communicate every day, all the time. We just all work remote. We've never had an office. We all work from home, everything. So this Friday afternoon, we're all going to get together. Some people haven't even met each other yet because I've hired like 3 or 4 people in the last 2 or 3 months. So
that's sick. Yeah, that's cool. Well, like a lot of my people never, like they're in different states too.
Yeah, so they'll never meet, right?
They might, but it might be a long time or until they all come to a big event. That's kind of fun. Like we can do that with this.
Right.
I'm in my office and you're out in the field doing your thing.
I'm actually at my house. I'm just in the driveway, and my truck has a mount on the dash. So I just got home and went ahead and got on the call with you because
perfect.
The lighting's better out here.
You look beautiful. Your skin and beard are glistening. You know what else I would like to point out? Is that an Adios hat or is that what
Uh, it's just it's not branded. It just says "Have more fun" on it. It's a melon hat,
Oh, cool.
but it's my Vigilance company color, and the Adios iguana is our mascot for Adios, and it's lime green too. So
Yeah, that's why
it's just my favorite hat.
That's why I was bringing it up. I thought maybe it was because so Roy has a whole bunch of are they all Ram trucks?
Yeah.
So he's got a fleet of that color green Ram trucks, and some are black, right?
I have three black ones and 3 green ones. Yeah.
Yeah. You see one going down the road, you know who it is. Well, you know who
Unfortunately, the last Google review I got was related to that.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been my fear for wrapping my truck with like the Black Owl stuff is like,
yeah.
Gosh, somebody like.
I'm not the best driver, but I got a Google review the other day. This guy almost ran us off the road. Never do business with him.
Oh gosh. Sorry.
I don't even know if that actually happened or not. I don't know. So
yeah, who knows? Maybe. I mean, there's this guy. I forget his full name, but he's Rodney. His name. He's got a big white beard. He's like a YouTuber guy or whatever, and he's a stand-up comic. But he does all these things, sayings about philosophy and life, and it's funny. He plays this character that's like tie-dye, big long beard, frazzly hair, and he talks like this. And I just wanted to let you know, just why don't you try giving people the benefit of the doubt? Like if you're driving down the road and you cut somebody off, you give yourself the benefit of the doubt. You didn't mean to do it. All this kind of stuff. And why not flip that? Like he's talking about if you're getting angry in your situation, maybe give people the benefit of the doubt like you would yourself.
Well, and the funny thing,
you're just like, I messed up.
The great thing about that too, Shay, is it's like a present to yourself, right? Because you don't have to be mad if you know what I mean? Like if you just give somebody the benefit of the doubt, you don't even have to get mad. And getting mad wasn't going to help you in any way anyway. So,
and this is something I definitely need practice with because I get so wound up when I'm driving. And so but it's just something to kind of remember, just give people some slack. Give them like you would yourself. You totally would give it to it. You don't like scream and yell and beat yourself up for if you do something wrong. So maybe don't do it for other people too.
I mean, depends on the day. I don't know.
Sure. Little philosophy for everybody out there. So, okay, let's talk about your mission this year. What's the mission for Adios, Radon, and Roy Wier this year?
Yeah, so we're a couple of things. I keep thinking about, okay, so we saw new stats come out about cancer rankings by state, and I was like number 2 in the nation for cancer rates, which is insane, right?
You know the reason why, kind of? I mean, aside from maybe Radon's in there, but have you seen
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot, right? It's probably some related to farming, chemicals. Yep, all that stuff. That'd be at the top of my list.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
But,
that and diet and chemicals.
Too much sugar in our diets and too many chemicals everywhere.
Yep, that's the 2 biggest kind of reasons.
Yep.
So anyway, you were researching or you're seeing stuff about that. Number 2 in the country.
Yeah, so like I looked up the other day too, like where are we ranked, as far as lung cancer specifically, and we're like the 39th worst in the country. And 10 years, so then I thought, well, I wonder where we were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And 10 years ago, we were like 27 places higher.
You mean better?
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why. Or do you know why?
I don't.
But this is just for lung cancer, or this is all cancers?
Specifically lung cancer. So anyway, lung cancer.
Like people are smoking more.
No, people are smoking less. But the people that did smoke for an extended period of time how old are they now?
Yes.
Right? Like
Maybe they're coming into it.
our
Age aging.
parents, you know, people that smoked for 40 or 50 years and now they're, because lung cancer most often gets diagnosed at stage 4.
Okay.
Because people are usually asymptomatic or don't notice their symptoms before that.
Sure.
So, and they don't get, if people don't get screened, then if they're asymptomatic until they're late stage and they're not checking, right? So I have my goals this year are to raise awareness about savedbythescan.org, which is a website where people, savedbythescan.org. So you can go to that website, and it's I think it's the American Lung Association, but there's a quiz that you can answer the questions on, and if you qualify, then you can get a free low dose CT scan once a year, paid for by Medicare. You have to be 50 to 77 years old, and you have to have smoked for 20 pack years. A pack year is 1 pack a day for a year. So if you smoked a pack a day for 20 years, that's 20 pack years. You smoke 3 packs a day for, what is that, 9 years or whatever? I don't know. I can't do math.
I'm not me neither, but I just put the Saved by the Scan
.org, yeah. Savedbythescan.org. .org, not.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, so I want more people to be getting screened for lung cancer. So the free one is for people that meet those qualifications, right? But you can go to a radiological office. I mean, just Google low dose CT scan near me or whatever, and you can go walk in and pay to get a low dose CT scan for like $250 around us. So if you know that you smoked for a long time, or you know that you were exposed to extremely high radon for a long time, or for any whatever work conditions, if you think that you're at really high risk for lung cancer, go get a low dose CT scan. Spend $250 to find out if you have early stage lung cancer, right? Once every year, once every couple of years, whatever, if you're really at high risk. What's that?
Something is better than nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, and the reason I recommend the low dose CT scan is because it's easy to do an outpatient deal. It's not like you got to go to the hospital. It's not as intimidating as all that, right? You can just walk in like you're having your oil changed on your car. I'm not saying like walk in, but make an appointment, go do it, pay a couple $100.
I have a question on that. Do they do CT scans like that for other parts of you, or just lungs?
I would think that they would do it anywhere, but I don't know. I haven't looked into that.
No, I'm just curious. I just never heard of it in the first place. And I'm like, what if I just want to go get a CT scan of my heart or my head? I don't know. For $250, I kind of want to do it.
Yeah. You would have to look up what you get, what parts of you get scanned. Is it your whole body for $250? Or is it just
I'm gonna look
certain
into it.
things?
I didn't even know that was the thing.
Yeah. Well, the low dose part is important because too many X-rays is that's radiation. No, and everybody gets when you go get an X-ray, right? Radiation is bad. That's why I'm wearing this lead vest, right? But how do we not make the connection between radiation and radon?
Right. Let's talk about that then, because we're talking a lot about smoking lung cancer, but let's talk about data on radon poisoning and whatever.
Well, so I mean, the statistics that I have seen say that about 21,000 people in the country die from radon-induced lung cancer every year, and about 400 of those live in Iowa. So it's killing. We have a population right around 3 million, I think.
Yeah, in the state.
So, in the state, so 400 people a year out of 3 million.
Wow. That's a lot for something that could be easily mitigated.
Right.
Well, it have to be years earlier, but and so do you want to talk about let's talk about what's the effects of radon levels to what's it compared to, like the cigarette comparison?
Oh yeah. So basically, I mean, the conversion that I've seen, and I don't know the science behind this graphic, but the graphic that I've seen is 2 to 1. So 2 cigarettes to 1 point of radon in an 8-hour period. Right. So if your radon level is 4, that's like smoking 8 cigarettes in an 8-hour period. 4 is the action level for radon according to the EPA.
Yeah.
So the EPA is basically saying, hey, if you're smoking less than 7 cigarettes in an 8-hour period, it's fine. Yeah. No, they don't say that. They don't say that. Right. They say that there is no safe level of radon, and that if it's between 2 and 4, you should consider mitigation, and if it's over 4, you should definitely mitigate. The World Health Organization says that if it's over 2.7, you should definitely mitigate. So in Iowa, we go by the 4.0 number because that's what everybody's used to, and that's the EPA number. And we have really high radon here. So, like, especially in some of these really, really old houses, getting it, like, doing a guarantee to get it below like 2.7 instead of just below 4. On some houses, it would be really difficult to get it that low because, we've had houses with radon levels, 50, 60, 40, 30, 20, whatever. And sometimes we can get those really high ones down below 1 even.
What's the highest you've ever seen?
Not on a mitigation I did, but the highest radon test I've seen was 126.
Wow. Dude, check it out. Can you see this I just put up? The graphic.
Nice.
So we got 4, which is where they suggest that you do mitigation, right? Level 4.
Right.
8 cigarettes. Level 8, 16 a day, right? Per day. You said one was 120. That's over 40 packs of smokes a day, or 40 over 80 cigarettes a day. Whoa.
Yeah. So the highest one I think we've mitigated so far was like
120 would be triple that.
Yeah, I think the highest number I've seen on a mitigation we've done in the last year and a half was like 50 something, maybe 60. I don't know. We've had several in the 40s and 30s.
Wow. And then you've gotten some of those down to even level 1.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the different kinds of radon mitigation.
Mm-hmm. So the most common, really there's only one kind that we do, which is subslab depressurization.
Okay.
So that's basically we suck out the radon from underneath the concrete before it comes into the house. So a question I get a lot is, well, how do I need to move out of my house while the radon test is happening? No, you don't have to move out of your house while the radon test is happening. Mm-hmm. Or people think, I'm not going to move into my house until the radon gets fixed because the radon level was high. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker, but if I got a wild hair and I was in Vegas and I wanted to have a nice cigar, maybe I would, right?
Sure.
So, like, if you spend a couple of days in a place with high radon, is that going to give you lung cancer? That's kind of, to me, I look at that like kind of like having a cigar in Vegas. It's not a long-term thing. It's once in a while. It's probably not going to kill you.
Well, I was just thinking, just even going to Vegas and being in the casino, you're going to get so much secondhand smoke. Right. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're smoking or not, you're smoking.
Right. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah.
So, so let's talk about, but what I was getting at is there's passive and active radon mitigation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So both passive and active systems are doing subslab depressurization. One just is good at it. The other one is not. So a passive system is usually almost entirely ineffective. Okay. They don't do a whole lot, right? They can do some.
What is it?
But mostly the value of a passive system is that if you end up having high radon levels after the house is completed, then you don't have to see the pipe and the fan on the outside of the house, right? Because the pipe is run up through the inside of the house, through the walls and stuff, through the attic and roof, and the fan goes up in the attic on a passive system or an internal radon system, and then with an active system, right? That means the passive system wasn't there. We had to install the pipe, from the foundation floor, so a core hole in the floor, connect pipe to that, dig a suction pit under the floor, connect pipe to that, run it outside and up above the roof, or we run it into the garage and then through the garage ceiling and the roof. That way, sometimes we can hide the system from the outside.
So to clarify, I was thinking that an active system meant that it had a fan, and a passive system didn't have a fan. Is that not quite right?
No, you're correct. So a passive system does not have a fan.
It has the pipe.
It just has the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
But the passive system doesn't usually do a whole lot.
Right. Understood that.
So
I put a fan in every one of mine.
Yeah. So if you have to me, it's a misnomer, right? It's to call it a passive system, because if it's not effective, right? Like, I feel like it gives people a false sense of security. A lot of times people think, oh yeah, I already have a radon system. No, right. You have a pipe for a radon system, right? So they it's pre-plumbed for a radon system is what I think. That's harder to say than passive, but
I agree.
Yeah.
There's like a couple things, right? Like that I do is I always put in a house that I buy. We buy them, So we put in an active fan system in the radon. I put in a garage heater every time. I'm like, why don't you have? You could get an 80,000 BTU garage heater on sale, a gas one on sale every year at wherever the heck I get them, for like $350. And then another $500-700 you get it installed. You're like $1,000 in, and you have heated cars and another space to work in. Like
you're preaching to the choir, man. I got a wood boiler that heats my garage and my house.
That'd be cool too. I would actually much rather have a heated floor system. With that.
Throw the driveway in on that.
Yeah, now you're talking. The other thing I was going to say is that we have an electronic radon tester that tests it all the time and just tells us the level, and you can look it on your phone.
Right.
But they also have those liquid ones that just measure it like a.
Well, that doesn't measure radon. The manometer.
Yeah, what's that do then?
That just tells you, that measures water column. It's measuring how much suction the fan is pulling. So how hard the fan is working against whatever back pressure there is. So it's inches of water column, not a radon level. So because the fans are quiet, right? If the fan's outside or in the attic, a lot of times you can't even hear it from inside the house. Or hopefully you can't hear it from inside the house. Yeah. And so you need that. It's called a manometer or U-tube, so it's a lot of people call it. And it just has oil in it, and then a piece of vinyl tubing comes off the top of that U-shaped tube and goes into the pipe. And so the air being pulled out by the fan sucks that oil up on the side that the tubing goes into. And so then you can look at that and know, okay, that's, gravity is not making that oil level. It's being sucked up, right? So if the fan dies, then that oil just sits flat.
Even.
Right.
Okay, good to know that. Yeah. That's something I learned today. See, I'm always learning new stuff. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for making me look like an idiot today. No. No, I don't mind looking like an idiot. That's how you learn. You have to. The more people you talk to, and the more people you talk to, the experts, that's how you learn all this stuff.
I wasn't trying to make you look like an idiot for sure, man.
No,
if you want, we could start talking about all the stuff that that I have no freaking clue about.
No, I know. I'm just being funny, but that is important information to know, and it's. I'm glad that I understand that better now. But okay, so that makes even my point of having a meter like my system that we have a good idea, because then you kind of know where you're at all the time. What do you think about those electric ones that are just constantly running?
The home radon monitors you're talking? Yeah. I like them. My concern lately is that there's a bunch of cheap Chinese ones that have come out, and Their reliability is highly questionable. I had a guy that I talked to yesterday that has had one of those cheap ones for like 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been reading low the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I think he paid like $80 on Amazon for it or something.
Yeah.
He said, and then recently bought another one that was like $200,
Mm-hmm.
and it's reading like 18.
Oh my gosh! Do you have a brand you like by any chance?
Yeah, Eco Sense is the brand, and EcoCube, EcoQube, is the one that I recommend. It's about $150. You can get it on Amazon, and that's a long-term monitor. But the other thing you got to remember with these is they'll build up a background level of radon in them, so you got to chuck it every year or two, and buy a new one. Yeah, you can't just keep the thing for 10 years and expect it to be any kind of accurate. I mean, I've got about 100 of the professional radon monitors that, are a lot more expensive and everything. I have to send them in every year for calibration. The calibration on my monitors costs more than one of those EcoCubes, just the calibration, right? So,
is that the big box, like the big yellow box that you come in with?
Yeah, mine are like a 6-inch by 6-inch and 1-inch tall. And they just mount to a tripod. They're cordless and stuff, but
okay, cool.
Yeah,
no, interesting stuff. So, and of course, then there's the third option, which is no mitigation system. And
right. Yeah.
So, like, and then that's a good point too. Is like on really old houses, like let's say a 40-year-old house. They have those around here. What and do you see on? It doesn't matter the age, because could a 140-year-old house have more or less radon, or it just matters what's in there?
The only requirement, or the only houses that will never have a radon problem, or should never have a radon problem, would be like, you ever been to the beach, like down Corpus Christi or Port Aransas or anywhere like that, and they got the houses up on stilts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Those ones are safe. Everybody else is screwed.
Yeah, anybody on a slab even.
If you're touching the dirt, if your house touches the dirt, then you could have a radon issue, especially in Iowa.
Yeah.
Statistically, the EPA suggests that about 76% of homes in Iowa have a radon problem. Our data, our internal data, suggests that it's actually about half.
Okay.
So, I mean, at least in the area where we primarily work, maybe it's higher in other parts of the state.
Sure.
And I'm just thinking it's half because that's what it seems to be in Eastern Iowa. So you got about a 50-50. If you're seeing this and you live in Eastern Iowa, you got about a 50-50 shot of having a radon problem. You probably ought to test. And speaking of testing, one of the initiatives that Shay was talking about that we're doing this year is I'm trying to give away $100,000 worth of free radon test kits. We've already given away 500. If I hit my goal, that'll be about 5,000 tests. So they cost me, with the overhead and processing and everything, they cost me about $20 a piece. And so
that's a cool thing that you're doing. That's a cool initiative, because you're getting out there and getting people to see if they have a radon problem, so that they can decide whether they want to do something.
Right. Well, what's been really cool is I tied that together with another initiative, which was I decided I wanted to try and give away 12 radon mitigation systems this year to people that have a lung condition that was caused or could have been caused by radon, right? Causation is not, how does that go? Correlation is not causation or something like that. Just because A and B are true doesn't mean A caused B or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, right. But it causes cancer, right? It's radiation, all that stuff. So they're also, I'm also seeing studies now linking it to other lung conditions. One of the clients, so far we've given away 3 systems this year out of the 12 that we want to give away. Good. And 2 of those clients had stage 4 lung cancer and were non-smokers. And the third was also non-smoker. She has interstitial lung disease, which I had never heard of, even running in radon circles for several years now. But I did a little bit of research, and I did come up with some stuff linking that to radon also. So when when you go to bid a radon system, because the radon's really high, and you walk in the front door, and the first thing you see is an oxygen tank.
Yeah. That's tough, man. That's really cool. And I saw one of your posts that it was heavy. It was emotional, and about the one guy that you did it for.
Dean, Dean Malley. He's the first guy that I gave a system to, and he actually had already paid for the system. I hadn't decided to start doing this when I bid the job for him, but I don't know, his story just touched me, and I realized what's driving all of this is I know that there's a lot of radon, and I know there's a lot of radon that doesn't get found until the house sells. And then the person selling the house has been living there for however long, and they didn't know that they had a radon problem. They never checked, or they checked and they never did anything about it, or they checked and it was fine, and then radon levels fluctuate over time, so they got high, or whatever the case is, right? But if they've been there for any amount of time, then it would have been cheaper for them to install that system sooner, because everything goes up in price, right? So how much does it suck to you're selling a house and you got to replace the furnace, so you have the expense of the furnace, but you didn't get to enjoy it. You get to experience it. Maybe you almost died from carbon monoxide poisoning and you didn't know it, and that's why you're half nuts now, because low doses of carbon monoxide, like below what even a carbon monoxide detector picks up, can give you brain damage.
So you're saying that could be my issue too?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking for a reason. I mean, I don't know if it's just me or what.
Sorry, I didn't mean to rabbit trail. I already told you I'm ADD, but
give me all these problems.
Anyway,
I didn't know I had.
What I'm getting at is I'm looking at the problem, right? To me, the problem is more people should have mitigation than do have mitigation, and they don't know it, right? So how do I fix that problem? Well, I have to remove pain, right? So what's the pain? Okay, they got to look up how to find a kit, which kit to get, what way to test, whether or not to hire a pro or do it some other way. So I just made it easy, right? You just go to iowaradon.org, you fill out the form, and we ship you a kit, and it's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Takes you 3 seconds to fill out the form, and then we ship you a kit, and it's a 2-day kit test. You follow the instructions. Please follow the instructions. That's the most frustrating thing so far with this test kit program. We shipped
on, what was it?
.org. I got too many websites for you, don't I?
Yeah, I'm putting in a new one. That's good though. There we go. Yeah. Now it's on there.
So those feed to an email account and to a spreadsheet, and then every few days we ship out kits. So we've shipped out over 500 of them. We've only been doing it for about a month, maybe a little over a month and a half. I don't know. So out of the ones that we've gotten back so far, it's a 2-day test, and then it hadn't been a month. It probably, because we haven't gotten that many back yet. So anyway, some of the ones we've gotten back, we found out that there was a problem with the instructions being printed too small. And so people haven't followed the instructions, and we're getting some back that may be false low readings, or they timed out and they're invalid, because they have to be processed. The sample has to be processed within 8 days of when you take it. So it's a 2-day test. You run it for 2 days, you close it back up, and then you put it back in the mail, and it has to get back to them and get processed within 8 days of when you start the sample. So we've, out of 50, as of yesterday, we'd gotten 55 results back. Out of those 55, 11 of them had timed out. So 20%. And if that trend continues, that's going to be kind of expensive. So we're going to change some packaging. We're talking to the manufacturer about improving their instructions. We're going to add a new sheet that has simpler instructions and bigger letters, and all of that, and hope to get around some of that. And when I brought up the false low ones, I don't know if they're false or not. We're going to offer the ones that come back at, we've had some come back at 0.0 or 0.2. So we're going to send them an email and say, hey, do you already have a radon fan or what? Because in Iowa, we almost never see radon results that low. Like even outdoors, the radon level is probably over 1 usually, right?
Wow.
So, just we just got to email and say, hey, were you just checking to make sure your mitigation system was working? I mean, I'd rather that people didn't use the free test kits for that purpose. But I'm not, I'm not saying you can't, if that's what you want to do. I'm not, I don't have the time to like try to ask people too many questions to see if they deserve a test kit. Everybody gets them, right? Whatever.
I just sold 5 of them. I'll just see if I can get them all. How many I could get.
I sent somebody 5 yesterday because the house is like 15,000 square feet.
Oh,
and it's over on the river. That's on the Mississippi. So yeah, it was a super cool house, but it's super funky too, man. I'll have to tell you about it some other time. But has a small basement and then like 4,000 square feet of crawl space.
Jeez. The biggest house I've ever sold was 9,000 plus feet, maybe 500 square feet, and that place was a monster. 15,000 jeepers.
That he might be counting the pool house. I don't know, but anyway, it's a super cool house. But so giving away 12 mitigation systems, giving away $100,000 worth of radon testing. Trying to make it easier for people to test and find out if they have radon or not. Trying to make it easier for people who have a lung condition to not have to worry about the cost of dealing with the mitigation system. And I'm not just trying to be Santa Claus out here, right? I'm doing that for the purpose of raising awareness so that I can run a profitable business and help people at the same time, right?
That's what makes a good business, right?
Yeah.
You're filling a need, you're helping people, and it's a win-win for everybody. That's what
I'm shooting for, man. I'm trying to create situations where there's not a downside,
Yeah, and that's what good business is. I mean, people know otherwise it'd be called a nonprofit. So when we're doing businesses, we're in it to make money, but we're also in
a lot of days it's a nonprofit anyway. But
don't I know?
Maybe a no profit, not a non-profit. Wait.
Us entrepreneurs just pull money out of thin air. Like nobody's just saying, "Hey, I'll pay you."
It is unbelievably expensive to do cool shit. I will tell you that.
Yeah, that's fun. It's fun. It's rewarding.
Oh, it's super fun. Yeah,
all the things.
It's super fun. But
well, good. Well, we can wrap this baby up. Do you want to give us maybe some final thoughts on how to summarize this show or anything you would like to finally tell people or point out?
Test for radon, and it's free. IowaRadon.org. Anywhere in Iowa. And if you think you're at high risk for lung cancer, get checked out. Get a low dose CT scan. It's not that expensive. Just do it.
Yeah, I love that one. I didn't even know. So all this information, Roy's information, is down at the bottom. I always volunteer for my guests that you would probably be open to. If people have questions, they can reach out to you and talk to you about it.
Sure.
Clients and realtors, both.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I figured he's a good dude like that. All the information is at the bottom. We got his phone number. We have his email address. We have savedbythescan.com or .org. Sorry, savedbythescan.org and iowaradon.org. Right?
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for coming on the show today, buddy. Really
man. Great seeing you.
Yeah,
we'll have to grab lunch again soon.
Just gonna say that I'm craving one of those salads from.
What are you doing today?
Dude, I'm probably eating some healthy. Not so
all right, man. I'll talk to you later. I got to go to Atalissa. So.
All right, man. Have a good one. Take care. We'll see you all next week, everybody.
Yeah.
Peace out.